Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Sissy Anggraini. I'm from 23 SIB class. So today I'm going to present my presentation about the comparative analysis about the lottery by Shirley Jackson and Revina Ryastha by Anafis. This presentation helped by Revina and Sissy. And first, it's about the tradition and individual humanity. In the lottery, the story highlights a chilling adherence to a ritual whose original purpose and paraphernalia, the black box, and the recital have been lost or forgotten. The cultural value here is communal stability at the cost of scapegoat, justified by the proverb, lottery injun, corn di habisin. And in the Revina Ryastha, Nafis critiques a form of pity that ignores social responsibility, kakek, or the grandfather, and Haji Saleh represent a culture where individual ritualistic devotion is prioritized over the welfare of the family and nation. The surau, or the prayer house, or it is called the mosque, is a symbol of a fading spiritual center that collapses because the community no longer cares for its actual substance. And next, distinct cultural tradition. In the lottery, it represents the Western post-World War II American tradition, specifically focusing on New England village life and secular agrarian cultures or agrarian rituals. And in the Revina Ryastha, it represents the Southeast Asian, Indonesian, specifically in Minangkabau tradition, rooted in Islamic practice and the transition of post-independence society. And then, the shared themes of institutional decay. It's about both stories utilize a specific physical object to symbolize the rotting or collapsing state of their respective social institutions. The black box in the lottery, the box is splintered, stained, and shabbier each year. Yet, the villagers refuse to replace it because it represents a tradition they are afraid to let go of. In the surau, or the prayer house, in A.A. Nabi's story, the surau is literally and metaphorically collapsing due to the indifference of a society that no longer maintains its spiritual and maintained purpose and social purpose. The cultural versus universal values. First is cultural specificity. Jackson uses the village square, post office, and noon dinner to ground the story in an American rural context. Nafis uses the Garing, Mekah, Haji, and Sedekah to ground his story in an Indonesian Muslim context. And the universal values, the scapegoat. Both stories explore how communities sacrifices individuals such as Steffi Hutchinson physically and kakek psychologically to maintain the status quo. Hypocrisy. Both texts critique those who follow the letter of the law, or rituals or the prayers, while ignoring the spirit, mercy, or social responsibility.
Connecting to toy literature. According to Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, while literature is a practice across nations where literature develops through exchange and global dialogue, transcending national boundaries. These two stories exemplify this true transcendence of national boundaries, universal human flaws. Despite their vastly different origins, both stories reveal identical human failings such as blind adherence to a tradition in America and egoistic pity in Indonesia. Common property of mankind. By placing a 1948 American story alongside a 1955 Indonesian one, we demonstrate that themes are a common property of mankind rather than restricted to one culture. Global dialogue through symbolic parallel. The travel of ideas, both authors utilize physical objects instead of decay. The splinter black box and the collapsing surau to engage in a global conversation about institutional root, and then cultural specificity to universal truth. Jackson uses the village square and post office, while Nafis used the Garin and Mecca. Through the containers, the box and the house are culturally specific. The contents, the decay of humanism is globally recognizable. And then international recognition and circulation. Significant impact. Just Guede envisioned literature as a practice of exchange. This work have gained significance beyond their border because they mirror the struggles of any society transitioning into modernity. And the role of the readers reading the text comparatively allow us to see literature as a global dialogue, breaking down cultural hierarchies to find shared human values.
So, in conclusion, the book story reveals how societies can maintain harmful systems through tradition or religious misunderstanding. Despite cultural difference, they express universal moral concerns, demonstrating that literature transcends national boundaries and contributes to global human understanding.